All right, so one of the things that I've been excited about since we moved into this house, actually since we first started looking at this house, moving out here, was that there was hay fields in the back. Man, I was just dreaming that I would be able to get some hay equipment and somehow be able to farm our own hay here and other crops down the road as well. You know, we want to plant, you know, areas of other things. So the first step was getting the tractor. We got the tractor last fall. I did a video on that. I haven't really shown too much of the tractor since. It's been just kind of stored in the barn, and we've used it to plow snow on that once or twice this winter. But there's so much other things that we need out here. Once I have the tractor, it's just a explosion of things that I want. You know, a blade to grade the driveway, post hole diggers, the hay equipment, and all those things. So I've been scouring Craigslist over the last few months, and I found some pretty good deals. So I'm going to take you along here and show you some of the things I have found for our Ford 4000 1969 tractor. Everything that I'm buying is used. I haven't bought anything new so far, so I don't plan to. So let me take you along and just show you what we're picking up this week. Oh yeah,
it's up in there. There's one. They're in here.
Fitting there.
The farmer that I got it from said, "Do not oil the chains. Do not do that because they'll collect all the dust and it'll make them wear. Okay. So let all the chains run dry."
Okay.
Just two belts on the drive here?
Yeah.
Two separate belts.
And when you mess with that and that handle right there, it's usually 8 turns. Go about that far off the ground.
All right, so when these are straight with the tire, they're unlocked.
Yeah, and that's in the book too.
And this is in the locked position. Okay.
And so I mean, sometimes these go off. You see, I replace some. Best thing I do is take a sawzall and just cut the back off. You'll know when these start breaking, you had that down too low and you're hitting the dirt.
Right.
If that starts getting below a foot, that'll catch your hay.
Okay.
Then you'll start getting a
You'll
bundle
pick it up
of
into your...
Yeah, and then it gets all up in there. You don't want that. So, my tractor, my draft control didn't work, so I had 2 straps that I tied on here and ratcheted up behind my seat. I hadn't set my draft.
Okay. Just about ready to load up here. So it's a small scale baler, Oliver 50. I'll go into more details on this, but once we get it back home, it's a 1955. It's got a couple years on it, but it's still working. So what did we get here? We have all of our hay equipment, everything we need to cut, rake, and bale our own hay here. We do not have an extremely large amount of capital to invest in these things, and so of course we're buying all used equipment. This is an Oliver 50. It's a very small scale baler. Oliver is a company that's not around. This was manufactured in the 50s. I believe I think it's a 55. I'll have to double check on that manual. He actually had the original manual with it. It was all in transparencies and everything, so it was real nicely kept. But this is a square baler. So if you're not familiar with this, basically what we have is, this is a piece of machinery I love. I just think these things are amazing. It's just, the engineering that goes into these things is just insane. Hay gets raked up in here. This auger pushes it into the feeder. There's an arm in here that goes up and down that packs it basically in this thing right here, moves forward. So you've got the hay. There's actually straw in here right now. The hay gets packed into this thing, you know, and it packs that hay in there. This measures, you know, how long the bale is. Once the bale is long enough, you've got these strings that basically gets wrapped around the bale. These needles come up, and there's a knotter in here that ties the string off and cuts it. And you know, it's all automatic and it's all mechanical. It's just it's an amazing piece of engineering. The baling twine feeds out of these two canisters here. There's twine inside there, and it goes out. And I'll do a complete video on this thing. I love these things. He did disclose that, you know, he had issues with things here and there. I mean, it's old, and you know, when things break, it's not like you can just run up to John Deere and grab new parts for it. It's real hard to find things for it. So there's a lot of fabrication and other stuff that needs to be done if you have problems. So this could be a huge struggle for me. And hopefully, God willing, things will work out okay, so we can get some hay bales made this year. But what a great piece of machinery. Oliver 50. These were made in Illinois. I think it's right here. It tells you. So very, very cool. And I mean, I could talk about this stuff all day, but equipment like this, you know, that's lasted 60, 70 years, it always just amazes me. You just don't see, I don't feel like there's a lot of quality stuff being made today, at least mainstream stuff. So then we also have the hay rake. So I'm kind of working backwards in the hay process here, but we picked up, this is a John Deere hay rake. I actually don't know the model number on it. I have to look. So it's a John Deere 896, and basically this is ground driven, which means that as you pull it, I could pull it with my truck, I can pull it with a tractor, whatever. As the wheels spin, they turn a small PTO over here, and this PTO then in turn spins this rake, and then as you pull it, it takes all of your grass that's laying down, all your hay, and it rakes it into what's called a windrow. So you've got a long, nice pile of grass or hay that you can then pick up with your baler. And then the first step in the process is a cutter. Now there's lots of different ways to cut hay. This is called a sickle bar, and actually my friend John, who went with me to get the equipment, helped me get everything loaded up. He actually, I had never heard of these before. I was looking for all these other hay binds and things, but this is it's like a big hair trimmer. You've got all these teeth down here, and I'll show you better understand it once it's on the tractor. But basically this thing, you know, rotates back and forth, and you pull it next to the tractor like a haircut. Just trims all the hay down and lays it down. So I'm gonna walk back to the hay fields here that we just got, and for those of you guys who just started following along, you know, remember we came from the subdivision 6 months ago. We've never I've done hay as a child, as a teenager, stacking hay for local farmers and stuff, but I've never done anything like this. So I'm new to this, you know, in certain respects. We have about 9 acres of hay field in the back of our property here. Part of being sustainable and part of what we want to do, we want to be able to produce everything ourselves. So our animals, most all of our animals are going to be pastured type animals. We have our pasture pigs. Goats obviously eat a lot of grasses and clovers and all that kind of stuff. They're foragers. We have rabbits that the kids are raising. They eat hay as well. And then what excess we have, which will be quite a bit, we will sell as an income source for us that will help pay for other feeds and other things like that. So, but we want to be completely sustainable off the land here. So I don't want to go out buying hay every year. I want to be able to produce it myself. I don't really want to deal with another farmer, have them come over and do the hay for me and then split it with me or something, because to be honest with you, they're really getting the better end of the bargain. So let me show you what we got out here. So these are this is one portion of the hay field, and it goes way over here and around the corner. We have plans to do Christmas trees and pumpkins and other things back in that corner. This will probably all stay as hay. Hay is a very broad general term. It just means basically a bunch of stuff that that animals can eat. A bunch of grasses and clovers and alfalfa and timothy and all that kind of stuff. There's all kinds of different hays out there. So, but then as you can see here, we've got, this goes way back and it cuts over in there. So there's a lot of really good field here. This was planted for hay specifically. It does have alfalfa, clover, timothy. There is several types of grasses in here. The field's getting a little aged, so it's not the highest quality, I would say. But it's still pretty good as far as I can tell. I think it would be something that a horse owner would probably you know, think is adequate to feed horses, which is kind of the top-notch hay. So lots of field here. It's already ready to go. So all I need to do is just cut the stuff down, rake it up, bale it up. And then we've got, you know, our pole barn to store. We should be able to store as much as we need to in there. We've got plenty of space. So just thinking of land use, you know, when we bought this property, this was one of the huge things that sold us. I mean, we're like, there's already hayfields in place. It's a whole lot of work. This used to be forested. As you can see, some of the, you know, pasture behind us here. It's a whole lot of work to get fields like this ready to go. And so this is huge for us. We've got lots of space here to plant other grains, you know, whatever else we want to do, vegetable gardens. We can do anything with this land. But we want to use every bit of our land. We've doing maple syrup back in the maple stands back there. We've got wood for our wood burners. We've got all these fields to use for pasture for animals and for hay and things like that, and then other wooded pastures and things like that here. So this was a huge thing for us, and to be able to get this equipment, get all of it from a guy who was close by. He actually offered to come help and see, you know, watch our first try at this whole hay thing. So that's an invaluable resource. But we're excited. So it's April here in Michigan. First harvest will probably be in June, and I'll take you guys along. We'll see how it goes. This has been quite the experience already, just getting all this equipment, and there's so many things to get, and so much equipment and things that I want. There's so much to do here. Springtime has just been crazy. Life has just not slowed down, but it's been a lot of fun. So I'm just so happy to see the warm weather. Things are starting to dry up. I'm getting excited about gardening. I'm getting excited about pastures and about the hay fields, and there's so much cool stuff just coming out this summer. So I'd love to have you guys along for that. If you guys have questions or comments, I'd love to hear them, and about anything, hay stuff. I mean, I don't know everything about hay. I grew up in a country area, and I worked for a lot of farmers, but I never ran the equipment. I was always the help. You know, I was always the guy that stacked the hay and did all the other stuff, shoveled manure and all the fun stuff. So now I get to do that, plus I get to run the equipment, so that's kind of cool. But I'd love to hear your feedback, guys. Hit thumbs up on the video if you get a chance. It really makes a huge difference for us. This whole sustainable, do-it-yourself movement and kind of path for us started, gosh, it's probably been about 4 years ago, and it just never stops. It's such an addictive thing. It started in our small city lot, suburban lot, whatever you want to call it, half an acre, 3/4 of an acre area, and we just wanted more. And you know, it's not out of reach of anybody who wants it. We didn't pay an enormous amount of money for the stuff that we have here. In fact, our suburban homestead, whatever you want to call that, was about equally worth, you know, we didn't really, our house payments really didn't change. So if you want to move out to the country and you want to do these types of things, I hear a lot of people say, oh, I wish I had that. Well, if you really are serious about that and you look there are going to be some sacrifices. You are going to have to probably move further out from the city, but there are lots of pieces of land available for probably what your city house is worth, because prices are higher in the city. So something to think about and something to start kind of looking around for if you're interested in this kind of stuff. But all of our experiences and failures will be chronicled here. We're going to be doing, I want to do more vlog type videos this summer, and so you guys will see a whole lot of that, you know, more just kind of what's going on around here type thing coming out soon. I try to get in front of the camera as much as I can, but it doesn't always happen. We're busy, we both work and things. So, but as always, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one.